Well, boys and girls, it's finally time for us to make some actual progress. We're going to try to drop Beamsy in the Celica today, but first we got to tear a whole bunch of bits and pieces off of it. Right, Moose?
That's right.
Right, Moose?
Right, Moose.
All right, Mr. Moose, as people can see, you're starting to strip the header off of here, and why are we doing that?
Well, I don't think this header, one, doesn't look really pretty, and two, I don't think it'll work as well in the chassis as a good long tube will.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Plus, it's going to be easier to fit too initially. So for initial test fitting, we're going to pull all the ancillary crap off. Well, AC pump, because we don't need no stinking AC.
That's right, that's for weak people.
It is for weak people. We'll pull off the AC, we'll pull off the
Power
power steering pump, which you don't need. So basically all the whole front half of the assembly we'll pull off.
Yep.
Clear off the additional wiring harness, we got a custom anyways.
Yep.
Pull off the intake manifold, because guess what? We've got ITBs going on.
Yep.
And we'll pull off the old engine mounts, because we got brand new engine mounts. So
That's right, that's all coming off to be replaced by the Xcessive stuff.
Yep.
One of Moose's favorite tools in the world, WD-40.
Second favorite.
Second favorite? What's your most favorite?
Astrolube.
I think it's Astro Glide, rookie.
For those who don't know what Astroglide is, it's a lubricant, and it's a water-based lubricant used during sexual intercourse.
He doesn't know his lubes very well, but if he doesn't use lube, he ends up breaking things with it. In the old days, we thought air tools were the pro thing to have, but these days, cordless battery-powered tools seem to be the way to go. So much less hassle, no hoses or anything like that to deal with. And
Plus you can take them to the track, because you don't have a compressor at the track.
yeah, true. And they make enough power to get just about anything off the car.
I mean, this is almost 400 foot-pounds.
Yeah, it's impressive.
So it's about as strong as you're going to get.
You might even call it moose spec.
It's pretty close to it, I would say.
All right, Beamsy, be prepared to be assaulted by the moose. Is it just me, or is the engine quivering in fear right now?
It could be.
Just like that, stock header is off, and Toyota or Yamaha, whoever was responsible for this, nice work, man. I'm impressed by this header. I think Xcessive actually makes a flange that allows you to fabricate your own down tubes from here, but we've actually got Xcessive's header flange so that we can just build a header from scratch. So this bad boy will go in the bin, and what we're left with is this mess.
In actual fact, impact tools have stopped most of the breakages, so I don't have to use
Breaker bars or
massive,
big moose-like leverages.
I can actually use technology.
Yeah.
So no, it's ever since I bought them, it's been the best thing I've ever bought in terms of tools. So
It does make life easier.
easier and better.
Less broken nuts and bolts.
That is.
So this is the driver's side engine mount, which we're removing because, as you'll see shortly, we have a new bracket that goes on place of it, and that lets us bolt it up to the AE86 crossmember that we have. Alright, so there is the Xcessive Manufacturing engine mount bracket. As you can see, it's high quality steel construction.
Beautifully made,
Yeah.
really heavy gauge.
Yeah, really heavy duty.
Nicely braced.
It's got like a nickel plated coating on it, so it shouldn't rust.
Which, get below.
Oh yeah. Alright. AC, bye-bye. We don't need you. It's gonna slow us down. You're gonna rob horsepower. Alright. Power steering pump, bye-bye. Been nice knowing you.
Now we have a big piece of cast power steering pump bracket.
Alright, so that is my cooler, and it weighs about 4 pounds on the old bathroom scale here. And the reason I want to know how much it weighs is I'm going to put all the bits and pieces that we just pulled off the beams in there and see how much weight we're saving by deleting the AC and the power steering and all that good stuff. So let's throw those in there. All right, AC pump, power steering pump, engine mount bracket, a bunch of other stuff.
All the bracketry to hold the two pumps on.
Yeah, all the brackets for that are in there, and the survey says, man, 37 pounds. Take 4 off, so that's 33 pounds right there that we're saving Connie the hassle of having to haul around. So you're welcome, girl. Interesting to see on the underside of the manifold here. It's actually rubber damped on this mount too. So they really put a lot of thought into. I mean, this was a Lexus. Well, in Japan it's a Toyota, but it's a Lexus level vehicle. So they obviously put a lot of effort into making it civilized as well as fun to drive. Yeah, you can really see the intake ports are just like straight shot into the combustion
top
chamber.
of the valve. Beautiful, straight, big. I mean, I compare this to the D and B series, which were always twisted and not a straight shot. The K are pretty straight, but really, really nice design, allowing for good flow and direct flow and efficient flow.
You could jam a lot of air into this motor, which makes me think bad thoughts about forced induction too, doesn't it? But one step at a time, Dave, one step at a time. Well, Moose, you've stripped Beamsy bare. He started with Connie, and now Beamsy's been given the same treatment.
Yep, she's about as clean as we can get her for the now. I mean, we'll get the...
Well, hold on. First of all, Moose, Beams is a boy, because Beams is going to mate with Connie. So we must refer to Beamsy as he, not she. Beamsy, we apologize for Moose's indiscretion. We know you're a dude, and you're a badass dude at that. You're going to kick out over 200 horsepower. Angry like a man. Alright folks, there's Beamsy swinging on the engine hoist, ready to be dropped into Connie's engine bay, but first we need to bolt up the gearbox, which, to do that, we wanted to remove the shifter. So, Moose, you maybe want to show the internet how that works?
Sure, we removed it mostly so we wouldn't have to worry about damaging or trying to fit it.
Yeah, through the center tunnel.
Through the center tunnel and everything, so, oops, there we go. Fun part is it sits, the back half of this sits on dowels, which have, because they're steel, they have decided to sort of permanently attach themselves.
Yeah.
So
you can see that it, the shifter arm sits on this sort of aluminum chassis that then bolts up to the arm that actually comes out from the gearbox.
Yeah. So
and that can actually be moved forward. So you can see there's multiple bolt holes
here
on the top side.
So you can drop the whole thing back
forward, and on the side too, you can see there's that hole and that hole. So we're actually going to use the more forward position, because we know from having looked at other people's swaps that it needs to be as far forward as we can get it. And now watch these two Canadian apes attempt to bolt up the transmission with a little disco interlude.
No.
To say you should hear it. Oh, I'm happy to make time for your feelings, but you have to admit I already do. Let's just break it down to you and me uptown, dancing all around till the disco ball pops. But I have to be me, and everyone can see your anger is misplaced, and I'm gonna tell you. Don't hate me 'cause I get attention. Don't turn me into what I'm not. I have to be me 24/7, and I ain't never gonna stop. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Oh, no, no, no. No, oh, oh, and I ain't never gonna stop.
Alright boys and girls, that is Xcessive motor mount number 1. Bolted up. That's the driver's side. Yeah, that's the driver's side. And then over here, we've got the other one. They're shaped differently, so you can't get them mixed up, which is always a good thing for me and Moose.
Particularly Dave.
Mostly me, yeah. So with those in place, we can actually hang this puppy, I think.
Well, I don't know if we're going to hang it because we haven't built the spacers yet for the subframe, but we are going to put it in the engine bay and kind of have an idea of fit. See if we can kind of get the thing kind of sitting where it needs to be. And
then figure out the spacers, yeah.
Figure out the spacers, see clearance for the steering rack, which we haven't bolted up the subframe yet.
Right, so the spacers they go between the cross member and the chassis to position the engine height-wise.
Lower it, basically.
Yeah. And then the other issue is, firewall and tunnel clearance, so we'll check those out momentarily.
Yep.
It's the moment of truth, sort of, almost. We're going to stuff it in there, but it's a practice run. It's a dry run like Ken Wagon likes to do. That's it. Let's do it. Let's stuff it in there, Moose.
Come on. Listen to me. I've tried so many times to tell you this is as good as I can be. Why isn't it enough to be faithful and also be the hit of the party? Let's just break it down to you and me uptown, dancing all around till the disco ball pops. But I have to be me, and everyone can see your anger is misplaced, and I'm gonna tell you, don't hate me 'cause I get attention. Don't turn me into what I'm not. I have to be me 24/7, and I ain't never gonna stop. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Never gonna stop. No, 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 no. Yeah, 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 yeah. I ain't never gonna stop.
Well, what have we here? Beamsy, meet Connie. Your new life mate. You're now officially filling Connie's largest hole, and we're pretty excited about it. It's still lots of work to go. We haven't quite got it sitting on the cross member yet. Having a bit of an issue with that, but I think we've got that figured out. Just needed to remove a washer from one of the engine mounts, which was kind of pushing the engine too tightly onto the other side mount. So sorting that out now, but yeah, look at that. Beamsy. Alrighty folks, Moose has been busy taking measurements, just trying to get a sense of how the original front engine cross member bolts up and aligns with the frame rails to make sure that we get the other one that we're installing now in the right position. Looks like he's happy with the way everything's lining up using the rear bolt hole on the frame rail here. So you can see he has a bolt in there, and we're going to try to reuse the front one too if we can, since it's reinforced. And you can see we've got our Xcessive engine mounts bolted up down there. There's going to be a 1-inch spacer that goes on the bottom side of the frame rail here. Oh, there's the spacer there, yeah. Also from Xcessive Manufacturing, so thank you, Rich. We appreciate all the support.
So yeah,
So that's going to go on the underside of the frame rail there.
we're gonna mark this hole, re-drill this so we can reuse the two OE original subframe mount bolts because they are reinforced,
Yeah,
rather than drilling through just a piece of bare sheet metal right there.
yeah, I think that's a good idea. This is about the time we realized the AE86 crossmember is wider than our Celica crossmember. So we had to take some measurements, do a little bit of math to figure out how to re-drill the crossmember to make it fit. For this job, we headed to Moose's man cave to use his die grinder and his drill press. He's a special creature, I think he'll agree. And as you can see here, all we really had to do was slot the existing bolt holes so that we could narrow up the bolting position on the chassis. Little file work here. And Moose gives himself a little manicure. Always a classy move. And here you can see the finished product. So yeah, just slotted them out a bit. Next, it was time to drill out the 1-inch spacers to the bolt hole spacing on the Celica frame rails. Little measuring, little marking, and a little drilling. Pretty exciting stuff, I know. Oily smell.
Beauty.
Beauty?
Beauty.
One down, one to go.
That is right.
And back to Dave's man cave. All right, Moose, we're back in my man cave, and it's time to try to bolt this thing up. Not for good, but at least for a proper, real test fit.
Yeah, once we get this in place, then we can see out the transmission mount. And once that's done, we've set everything in place physically. So, you know.
So we're thinking this is more or less where Beamsy's gonna live. This is with the rear bolt on the cross member in place, and we're happy with the firewall clearance we've got here. We've got at least, 3 inches there to play with, which is nice as far as, accessing tranny bolts if we ever need to drop the tranny off. And it gives us room to run. There's a coolant line back there that we may run. Gives us a bit of room for that. Anyway, it's kind of looking like an engine bay full of engine right now, isn't it? What are you laughing about, Moose? There's nothing funny here.
Oh, there's something very funny here.
What do you mean? There's nothing funny here. This is all serious business.
Uh-huh.
All right.
And a serious videographer here.
Yes, who keeps forgetting to turn the mic on. So, let's try this again.
Take 2.
All right.
Come on. Listen to me.